$50,000 in my lap, or I'll leave this little picture down a well. You got that, Boston? All right, messenger boy. Deliver my message.
That was the best acting I've ever seen in my whole life.
Thank you.
Hello and welcome to the 5th episode of Unfurling Stars, and this very special episode is dedicated to the life of an extraordinary person, one of my favorite actors, philanthropist and environmentalist, Leonardo DiCaprio. Leo turns 48 and I only wish to see him experimenting more and more with his roles. Beginning this interesting episode by wishing the man with eclectic choices a very happy birthday. 48 years ago, he was born on 11th of November in LA as Leonardo Wilhelm DiCaprio. Wilhelm Indenbergen was his maternal grandfather. He was born to Irmelin Indenbergen, a legal secretary, and George DiCaprio, a writer, publisher, and distributor of comic books. Leo's mom and dad met during their college days, love bloomed, and both moved in together to LA after graduating. Basically, Leo is of Italian and German descent but has somewhat Russian maternal roots too. The unconventional superstar was named Leonardo by his parents because when they both were in Italy for their honeymoon and Irmelin was pregnant, she could feel his first kick while looking at a painting of the polymath Da Vinci. Therefore, they gave their baby his first name. Soon, when Leo was born, and by the time he turned 1, his father moved out of their house as he fell for another woman. But both the parents genuinely wished to raise him together, so they moved into twin cottages with a shared garden in LA. Leo lived with his mom, and his father lived with his girlfriend and their son Adam, who bonded with Leo quite amazingly. As years passed, Leo and his mom moved to other places in the town, and she did odd jobs. By the time Leo has attended LA Center for Enriched Studies for 4 years and then he got enrolled to Seeds Elementary School. But then happened the John Marshall High School, which he later admitted absolutely disliking, and for that he got the American diploma as he dropped out of high school after third year, as he wanted to give acting auditions to improve the finances of his family. Before that, since the age of 5, he used to perform on the children's TV show Romper Room, but soon he got dismissed from the show for being too disruptive, after which he gave numerous auditions which landed him many rejections and a few commercials.
This is a chunk of super soft bubblegum.
As a kid, Leo shortlisted 2 options for his career, a marine biologist or an actor. The latter seemed favorable to him as he liked impersonating people. All this began at the age of 2 when he went up on the stage at a performance festival and danced his heart out. And after seeing his stepbrother Adam getting $50,000 in exchange of a TV commercial role, he believed he should go ahead and do the same. Soon as he turned 14, he managed to hire an agent for himself after much difficulty, who suggested him to change his name to Lenny Williams to appeal to the American audiences. But as we all know, he refused. For the following 1.5 years, he remained jobless even after giving hundreds of auditions. When he became fed up with the rejection, his father asked him to try and persevere with his dream. Soon he got roles in 20 commercials via an agent who knew his mom's friend, and he also got recommended to appear in TV shows like Parenthood, Santa Barbara, and The Outsiders. He also got 2 nominations in the Best Young Actor category for the first 2. Soon he signed and got bonded with Rick Yon as his manager, a guide for 27 years. Rick is also manager to Jennifer Lawrence and Martin Scorsese. Leo made his film debut at the age of 16 in 1991 in the low-budget horror film Critters 3, which Leo remembers as one of the worst films of all time. He reprised his few TV roles that year where he was cast to attract young female audiences. His co-star Joanna Kearns recalls Leo being very intelligent but really mischievous during the shoots. 1992 was life-changing for DiCaprio as owing to his small role in the first film of the Poison Ivy series, Hollywood maverick Robert De Niro picked him out of 400 young actors to co-star with him in This Boy's Life, where he played the abusive father of the rebellious teenager that Leo played. Leo didn't know how to behave on sets according to the director Michael Caton Jones, for which he applied his strict ways to deal with him. Soon he was praised a lot for his extraordinary portrayal. The next year he shared screen with Johnny Depp, who was equally fantastic in the much internalized character of Gilbert Grape, but Leo as the younger brother, the intellectually disabled Arnie overshadowed everyone in the frame. He became the seventh youngest Oscar nominee in the Best Supporting Actor category at the tender age of 19. He was also nominated for a Golden Globe and received a National Board of Review award. For me too, he was an absolute show stealer in What's Eating Gilbert Grape. I would highly recommend the coming of age film to all the cinephiles as it is absolutely free on YouTube. In 1995, he starred in Sam Raimi's The Quick and the Dead, but Sony Pictures was not confident over his casting. Therefore, his co-star for the film, Hollywood's femme fatale Sharon Stone, paid Leo's salary herself. Leo got huge appraisal for his portrayal of a drug addict basketball player in his next, The Basketball Diaries. This was again a biopic after this boy's life. I'm sure Zendaya must have taken cues from him to play Rue, especially the scene where he requests his mom to let him in is so naturally well performed that it blows my mind every time I see it. His next was an erotic drama called Total Eclipse, where the story was an account of a homosexual relationship. Leo co-starred with David Thewlis. You must have seen him recently in Enola Holmes 2 as Grail. Leo replaced River Phoenix in this film, who died before the filming began. River is the late brother of Joaquin Phoenix, who is an incredible actor, as you've seen him in Joker and probably her. River died at a very young age of 23. 1996 was the advent of stardom for Leo as he starred opposite Claire Danes in Australian director Baz Luhrmann's Romeo plus Juliet. Leo came to be known after this as a revelation, and Claire was called the Meryl Streep of her generation by Baz. Soon, Leo starred in Marvin's Room with Meryl Streep and Diane Keaton. He played Meryl's son in the film and was called an extraordinary talent and a gifted actor by critics. Now, in 1997, he did the film which made him world famous, and it is literally the reason for Leo mania that took over people after Titanic. Guys, Titanic was obviously me first time seeing Leonardo on screen, much like every other Indian. My mama even calls him Titanic hero till date. Please comment down what's the first film that you ever saw Leo in. Also, it became a huge headline that Claire Danes has turned down the role of female lead in Titanic due to differences with Leo. Soon, Kate Winslet got finalized and we got the best ever best friend goals in Hollywood. The film got 11 Academy Awards, but to everyone's surprise, Leo was not even nominated, and that led to a protest against the Academy by more than 200 fans. But yeah, he got nominated for a Golden Globe though. The next year, he began his journey with environmental activism and established the Leonardo DiCaprio Foundation, which was a non-profit organization for promoting environmental awareness predominantly on global warming and preservation of the biodiversity of this planet. His foundation has worked in more than 40 countries by now, has produced two short documentaries, namely Water Planet and Global Warming, and funded for several necessary environmental projects. Also, Leo and his mom donated $35,000 for a Leonardo DiCaprio computer center at the library in Los Feliz near his childhood place. On the professional front, he briefly appeared in Woody Allen's Celebrity. The film got highly praised, but then his next, The Man in the Iron Mask, got heavily criticized on basically how Leo was miscast and his talent got wasted. He played twins in the film and got a Golden Raspberry Award for Worst Screen Couple. Next up, he got cast in American Psycho but left the project due to several disagreements with Oliver Stone on direction. Therefore, Christian Bale and many other contemporaries of him have always said this, that they got their breakthrough roles as Leo rejected those, as he is the one who always gets approached with extraordinary characters. Then he took up Danny Boyle's The Beach. Anyway, the film got negatively reviewed and Leo got nominated for the Golden Raspberry Award for Worst Actor. Apart from Titanic and the two worst awards, Leo really remained in the headlines for being a party animal in the 90s. In 1999, his first high-profile relationship to be on media was with Brazilian model Gisele Bündchen, which lasted till 2005. Gisele is one of the highest paid models since 2001. 90s were over, and before the early 2000s, he and his best friend Tobey Maguire, who is also a renowned actor, worked on a short film to support an aspiring director, R.D. Robb. Toby and Leo have been friends since childhood as they were neighbors and were raised by single moms, pretty much had the same story, just different forms of success. For his environmental advancements, he got the Martin Litton Environment Award in 2001 from Environment Now and Environment Leadership Award in 2003 by Global Green USA. 2002 was a great beginning for him as he did the biopic of Frank Abagnale Jr. titled Catch Me If You Can, and it was directed by the masterful Steven Spielberg. This is one of my favorite films in his filmography, and he was awesome every single time he appeared on screen. Amy Adams was beyond brilliant too. Leo got a Golden Globe nomination again. Then he starred in The Gangs of New York, which marked the beginning of the super amazing collaborations with Martin Scorsese. Cameron Diaz and Daniel Day-Lewis co-starred with him in this film, and this was literally called a masterpiece by many critics, and Daniel was nominated for the Academy Award in the Best Actor category. 2004 turned him into a producer with his company named Appian Way Productions. Appian Way is an important Italian road, if you wish to know that, under which he first produced the assassination of Richard Nixon. Same year, during the presidential election, he campaigned and donated to John Kerry's presidential bid. Acting front also became quite interesting for him that year, where he reunited with Scorsese. It was again a biopic for him. This time it was The Aviator, Howard Hughes' biopic, and Leo co-produced it too.
Husband, Ludlow. Father and mother just mad about Luddy.
What the hell is he doing here?
Oh, he's here all the time.
His performance as a film director and aviation pioneer suffering from OCD was absolutely extraordinary. But many people must be unaware of the fact that Leo actually suffers from bouts of OCD. He was diagnosed as a kid. His camaraderie with Cate Blanchett's Katharine Hepburn was lovely to witness. Again, I would recommend you to watch it only for Leo's terrific acting capabilities, if not for the interesting genre and the fine plot. He went on to receive his first Golden Globe for Best Actor. Plus, he was again nominated for an Academy Award, a BAFTA, and a Screen Actors Guild Award for Best Actor. 2005 had no DiCaprio in headlines for movies, but for his new date, Bar Raffaeli, who is an Israeli model. The relationship went on for 6 years. As I said earlier, that Leo was really famous, or most probably infamous, for his hardcore insane partying habit, and in one such Hollywood party of 2005, he had his face heavily injured when model Aretha Wilson hit him over the head with a broken bottle, resulting to which he had 17 stitches on his face and neck. Soon in 2010, Aretha was sentenced guilty and went on to prison for 2 years. The next year, he again collaborated with Scorsese, his Basketball Diaries co-star Mark Wahlberg, and Catch Me If You Can co-star Martin Sheen. He also said in an interview that he loved working with Jack Nicholson the most in The Departed. Leo described his character from the film as somebody who has a constant 24-hour panic attack, and to prep for his role, he interacted with people from the Irish mob and gained 7 kgs. Up till 2006, this was the highest grossing collab between Leo and Martin. He got nominated for Best Actor at BAFTA and Golden Globes and won a Satellite Award for Best Supporting Actor. Next up in Blood Diamond, he played a diamond smuggler with a South African accent, and he got nominated again for a Golden Globe and an Academy Award. He was really touched in the course of interaction with 24 orphan children from Mozambique who all were extras in the film. He spent a lot of time with all of them but formed a special bond with a little girl whom he later pledged to support financially and kept in touch with her over phone. It was all over the media at that time that Leo has adopted a South African baby girl, but it was not exactly an adoption, and not anything like Angelina Jolie adopted Zahara and brought her to US her home and took care of her. In case of Leo, he sent monthly checks to her and supported her with things over phone. 2007 marked his return to film production after 3 years with The 11th Hour, a documentary on the condition of natural environment which he also co-wrote and narrated. He was also an executive producer for Planet Green's Greensburg, which ran for 3 seasons. Next up, he produced Gardener of Eden, a dramedy which was his friend Kevin Connolly's directorial debut. In 2008, he gave $2,300 to Barack Obama's presidential campaign, which was the max one can give, and $5,000 in the 2012 campaign. He also donated $1 million to the Wildlife Conservation Society that year at Russia's Tiger Summit. On the film front, we saw him in Body of Lies, a novel adaptation of the film's namesake.
I'm glad I made friends with her boys. I like them a lot.
Yeah, they're great, aren't they? But not very good spies. Neither are you.
What do you mean?
At the table,
Oh.
you know?
The political had him dye his hair brown and wear brown contact lenses. He really looked different in that film, and his scenes with Golshifteh Farahani seem naturally priceless. But because of Farahani's appearance in the film without hijab, she was banned from Iran. From my side, I'd call the film really crisp and suave. For his next, which was the dream collab for the audience, was with Kate Winslet after 11 years. It was Revolutionary Road, directed by Academy Award winner Sam Mendes and Kate's then husband. I have talked in detail about the film in this video, which is available in the description. The film is something really tragic and has this strange vibe which leaves us really disturbed due to its powerful performances and the setting. Some even call this Leo's most mature performance of his lifetime. This film is a must watch if you are a lover of great acting. This was again a novel adaptation with the same name as the film. Leo and Cate have been reluctant to be on a romantic film again after Titanic, but for this film it was Cate who suggested that it's time that they collaborate on screen again. Also, both of them were really uncomfortable because it was Cate's husband who was directing these unusual romantic scenes. 2009 had Leo only as a producer for the psychological horror film Orphan, starring Vera Farmiga, who worked with Leo in The Departed, and Isabel Fuhrman, the leading lady, who said in an interview after the film release that even though there was a nationwide search for the young female actors to fit into the role of Esther, but Leo from his production house was stuck with finalizing her and remained adamant on casting her, as he was at one point the only person who believed in her after the audition. He knew very well that she could play this part to perfection, otherwise it was out of question for him producing the film. Eventually everyone agreed and Leo produced it, and Isabel said that she is grateful to him for life. Also that year, Leo along with Kate Winslet, James Cameron, and well-known singer Celine Dion, who sung My Heart Will Go On, raised money to financially support the fees of the nursing home where Milvina Dean was living. Milvina was the last survivor of the RMS Titanic to be alive. In 2010, he again starred in a novel adaptation, that Shutter Island. This was his fourth collaboration with Scorsese. This film is a must-watch in the thriller genre. I still feel the goosebumps that I felt while watching it for the first time. Leo shared screen with Michelle Williams, Mark Ruffalo, and Patricia Clarkson in this film. They both were really good, but Michelle and Leo, they both were just exceptionally good. I think we need to get both of them back on screen ASAP. His next was probably Unconvention in 200. It was Inception by the masterful Christopher Nolan. This is one of the best science fiction films till date. Here, Leo shared screen with Marion Cotillard, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Elliot Page, Cillian Murphy, and Tom Hardy. All these extraordinary actors were beyond brilliant and perfect in their roles, making the film absolutely timeless. He also donated $1 million to the Wildlife Conservation Society that year at Russia's Tiger Summit, after which he donated $1 million again to relief efforts in Haiti after the earthquake. Leo in 2011 gave a really subtle performance in Clint Eastwood's J. Edgar, again a biopic, this time on the FBI director. He also produced two films that year, namely Red Riding Hood and The Ideas of March. We witnessed Leo in a full-fledged negative role the next year as Calvin Candy, as he stars in his first Western movie, Django Unchained, by exemplary filmmaker Quentin Tarantino. Here, Leo was uncomfortable with the brutal racism extended in the script, but his co-stars and the director comforted and convinced him. His very famous scene with Kerry Washington was where he bangs his hand on the table so hard that he got a huge cut by glass, but he still continued to perform and they went with the shot. What a legendary actor. And I tell you this with absolute surety that no matter how much you admire or love Leo, your blood is bound to boil as you see him play that role, even though he has a minimal screen time. He got a Golden Globe nomination for Best Supporting Actor for that role. In 2013, he donated $61,000 to the gay and lesbian rights group called GLAAD. On his professional front, he again collaborated with Baz Luhrmann for the millionaire Jay Gatsby's biopic titled The Great Gatsby. This was one of his most iconic roles, where he shared screen with Carey Mulligan, Tobey Maguire, Joel Edgerton, Elizabeth Debicki, and the Bollywood Big B, Amitabh Bachchan. He produced more three films in 2013 called Runner Runner, Out of the Furnace, and his next, The Wolf of Wall Street, with Martin Scorsese.
What do you mean you want a divorce? What is that supposed to mean, you want a divorce?
Get off me. I want a divorce.
Get off. Just make love to me. What the fuck is wrong with you?
I don't love you anymore, Jordan.
You don't love me? You don't love me anymore, huh? Well, isn't that just fucking convenient for you? Now that I'm under federal indictment with an electronic bracelet around my ankle, now you decide you don't fucking love me.
I absolutely love that film for the unapologetic portrayal of Jordan Belfort and the vibe that the film exudes, and I certainly believe that he should have won that Oscar for his flawless role. His rapport with Jonah Hill was insanely good and was absolutely hilarious. His chemistry with Margot Robbie as Naomi was so freaking natural and amazing and whatnot. Leo said that he knew instantly while seeing her perform that he is witnessing a dynamic presence in cinema. And I, as a lover of cinema, would want that pair to do infinite films together as they have so strong, palpable chemistry and are extremely good at their craft. Comment down your favorite scene from the film, which fetched Leo his second Golden Globe Award. That year, he started dating German model Toni Garn and soon broke up that next year, only to reconcile with her over a brief affair in 2017. In 2014, Leo was an executive producer for two award-winning environmental documentaries like Virunga and Cowspiracy.
And the Oscar goes to Leonardo DiCaprio.
Finally, it was the moment of truth for everyone as Leo swept almost all the awards with Alejandro Inarritu's The Revenant. He played a fur trapper named Hugh Glass in the survival drama, which he referred as the most difficult role in his career, for which he had to shoot a musket, build a fire, speak two Native American languages, eat a raw bison liver, and sleep in dead bodies of animals. Leo perfectly fitted in the role, and Tom Hardy was exemplary too. Leo won several awards in the Best Actor category, like an Oscar, a Golden Globe, a BAFTA, a Screen Actors Guild Award, and a Critics' Choice Award. 2016, 17, 18, all these 3 years were reserved for philanthropy and production and environmental contributions. In 2016, he was an executive producer for The Ivory Game and Catching the Sun. Next up, he produced, narrated, and hosted the documentary Before the Flood. According to him, global warming is the world's #1 environmental challenge. Therefore, he uses electric hybrid vehicles which are environment friendly, and his house is powered by solar panels. But he's often criticized for his use of private jets and huge yachts due to their large carbon footprints. Soon he produced a film called Life by Night. I think by now you might have been quite familiar with Leo's awkward faces that keep going viral all the time, and I have plenty of them in this video so that you all don't get bored. Now, since mid 2017, he started dating American model and actress Camila Morone until 2022, just a few months ago. Camila was 20 while Leo was 43 when they started dating, so they both had been criticized a lot owing to the age gap in their relationship. Then in 2018, he produced Delirium and Robin Hood, and 2019 started with his production and narration of the documentary called Eyes on Fire, based on global warming. Soon he returned to acting after a 4-year break and starred in Quentin Tarantino's dramedy Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. The film was a homage to the old Hollywood and a treat for cinephiles. Leo, along with Brad Pitt, Margot Robbie, and every single actor in the film, put forth extraordinary performances. The last scene is such a good blend of tension, drama, and turns out to be an absolute laughter riot. You definitely gotta see it. Leo was nominated for an Oscar, Golden Globe, and a BAFTA for the film. He began 2020 by donating $3 million to Australia bushfire relief efforts. He also made a cameo in the mini-series The Last Dance and served as an executive producer for The Right Stuff. In 2021, he did a brilliant black comedy / environmental satire called Don't Look Up. The film is so freaking good, you need to see it right now on Netflix. Leo as Dr. Randall Mindy, the nerdy astronomer, was so perfect. Jennifer Lawrence and Meryl Streep too were brilliant as usual. Mark Rylance was spectacular. Leo reunited with his co-stars from previous films like Jonah Hill and Cate Blanchett. Extended cameos by Ariana Grande, Kid Cudi, and Timothée Chalamet were so unexpectedly good. It was undoubtedly the funniest film of 2021. But one needs to also focus on the deeper aspects. You can know everything about the movie in my detailed review of the film. It's in the description. Leo was nominated for Golden Globe and a BAFTA for the film. The only film of Leo that I'm looking forward to right now is Killer of the Flower Moon, where he'll reunite with Scorsese and De Niro again. Leo will also co-produce the novel adaptation. Apart from this, I'm also quite interested about the biography of Da Vinci, whose rights were bought by Leo's Appian Way from Paramount, and as per this deal, Leo is gonna be the star of the film. If you are wondering about the favorites of your favorite star, then here they are. The favorite film role is Howard Hughes from The Aviator. His all-time favorite movie is Stanley Kubrick's 2001 A Space Odyssey. Now, Leo might be the favorite actor of many of us, but who is Leo's favorite actor? Well, his favorite male actor is Robert De Niro, who gave him his first big break, and one of his closest friends, Kate Winslet, is his favorite female actor from the industry. Now, why I love Leo and predominantly his acting is because he is truly one of a kind. He is definitely a redefiner of stardom. I have not seen all of his films, but I can totally confirm that there hasn't been a role on screen where he hasn't given his 100%. The respect and admiration that he's earned today has to be because of the immense hard work he puts in to make each of his scenes look perfect to the audience. Tell me, what's your reason to love Leo? This was all for this video, definitely the longest one to appear on my channel. Till date, subscribe, press the bell button and follow on Twitter for more filmy stuff. See you soon. Thanks to each one of you for watching this till now.